this VPN, VPC. Let's call it class app VNet. All right. So we are creating it inside that resource group. And that's it. Just for you to see what it could contain, I'm just going to go to next. And then you see that under security, you could do bash on host. Remember what bash on host is under VPN? And then we use this as we accept the default IP address instead of course, if you want to customize, you can use your custom IP address, but we'll just accept the default. If you want to tag, maybe you have other programs that will be referring to this resource and you want to tag this so that I can use this name, then you tag, and then of course, you review, and then you create. Are we ready to create now? So let us create our VNet. So our VNet is creating deployment in progress. Deployment succeeded. So if we go to resource now, we should see that the VNet is created. Again, if we go home, we should see that the VNet is now showing. Good. All right, so we are creating our infrastructure gradually where we'll deploy the application. The next thing we want to do is we want to create the server and all of the tools within the server where we will deploy the application to. All right. So this is just the virtual network where the application will run. This is the resource group. Now, let us create the server, the security group around the server, the application that will run in the server. If we're doing Linux, then it will be talking about the Linux peculiar kind of what was the Apache application for running web services in Linux, but here it will be IIS. However, within Linux, within Microsoft Azure, we have ready-made. In other words, managed web application by Azure that you just call and everything is already embedded inside. You don't have to do anything manually by yourself. All right. So let us go ahead and create that resource. So if we go back to creating resources and we say create resource, that ready-made infrastructure for your web application is called web app. All right. So it is a managed service that will build, deploy, and scale your enterprise web, mobile, or API application. And you don't even have to do anything. It's already managed. All right, so let us create one. So we'll come here and we'll say, we want to create this for 3 different environments. We want to create for our development environment. We want to create for our test environment. We want to create for our production environment. We are going to have the same app running in 3 different environments. All right. So the resource group under which we are creating this is class app resource group. And then what name do you want to call this one? Let's call this our class app. And let's call this our dev environment. All right. We'll be using code. We are not deploying container. All right. So we'll take code. And then if we come here, US East 1, that is good enough. And then if we, for the kind of application we want to deploy, this resource may be too expensive. So let's come here and look for a cheaper resource. So a basic resource like B1 that is only $12 per month to be able to do that. So this is like taking your kind of EC2. Is it going to be T2, M2? And so you take the appropriate capacity that's cost optimized for your application. All right, so that's it. And then again, I could just say review and create, but let me just quickly run you through other possible configurations you can do. You could decide to do your deployment not from the regular Jenkins and Azure that you are used to, but from GitHub. In that case, you say GitHub. All right, you enable GitHub, but now we are not enabling it. For networking, we are saying we want to be able to access this application publicly. So we say public access is on. But monitoring, if we wanted to be able to, if we wanted Azure to install monitoring, its own native monitoring tool in the application so that we can monitor, we'll say yes. But for now, we don't say no. But I just wanted you to know that it's possible to configure on that. And then tag, and so on and so forth. Error validating. What did we do wrong? Let's go back. So we said subscription. And then we said, oh, we didn't take this, sorry. So the code that we are running, is it going to be written in Java? This particular code is written in Node.js. So we say Node 16. All right, because it says code here, we have to explain the programming language of the code. All right, so having done that, it will now say validate, and it says, yes, this is valid, and then we'll now say create. So we are creating the environment for the deployment of our application. This environment we have called the dev environment. All right, so once this is successful, we'll create 2 additional environments. We call them test and prod. Okay. So deployment is in progress. The web app will take the machine, it will build the application, it will put everything you need inside. It will even automate it. The auto scaling and everything is already part of it. So that's why we call it a managed service. All right, so everything looks good. So if we go back home now, and then we should see that our class app dev is up and running. All right, let's quickly create 2 more, the other 2. Again, we say web app within our class app. And then this time, let's call it class app, but for our test of staging environment. And then we'll say this is built in Node.js 16. And then we'll say run Linux in that environment. I will say B1. Our B1 is here, right? So that's affordable. It's not too expensive. All right, so I already showed you the possible configurations you can have under deployment. But right now, I just go to create, review and create, and everything looks good. So I'm going to say create.
The test environment will also be 12 something per month, right?
Yes, the same B1, yeah. So we're going to run 3 separate web application environments, each of them running. All right, so our test is ready. So who can help me create our prod? We'll come back here, and then we'll see within that resource group, we're going to run class app or and then we'll see this is written in Node. Because remember we said once that we're going to explore the opportunity to run another kind of code other than Java. So this is video. All right, so review, and then we'll create. Okay. So our environments are almost ready. The next thing we'll do